A lot of
like
times
you'd be surprised.
a lot of times it's protecting everybody else's feelings because they want to keep all those options.
That's fine, and that's wrong. That's
Girls do it consistently, and men do it too. I mean, everybody does this consistently.
It's wrong.
I don't know if I can say it's wrong if that's
if you're not letting a person know what's up, and you're putting them in a position that they don't know that they're in, that they may not want to be in, then it's wrong. Then you, like everybody say that they keeping it 100 until it's time to keep it 100. Like keeping it 100 is 100% just a saying. If I'm keeping it 100. All right, thank you for joining our first season of our first episode. You know what time? It's time to get blood. I'm your host, Superman Barnes. I'm here with two amazing guests. We're going to introduce them at the end of the show. I am grateful for y'all to be here. First episode of this new podcast called Blunt Josh, where we tackle taboo topics in a way that allows us to begin healing in certain situations and certain topics that people normally don't talk about, in ways that people don't talk about. This is it. So today's topic is building up into sexual connections.
Okay.
I see a lot of issues with this because the way that we was taught through media, through movies, through the hood, through porn, we don't fully operate in the ways that we should that entices the opposite sex. A lot of guys would utilize language like, I'm about to hit that, I'm about to beat that up. We utilize language that is very abusive to ladies, so that when we do things, we think we got to do it with might and we got to be rough with it. But some ladies don't like that. When they don't like that, because of it's how we taught, we think that there's something wrong with the lady, when really we just need to learn how to talk to the opposite sex properly. So that's things that we're going to be talking about in this whole podcast, things that allow us to seek a deeper understanding of one another in topics that really is about to blow your mind. Hope y'all ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's rock.
So, since we're the two guys that's here, Renni, tell me about how has been your experiences throughout your life with guys trying to connect with you on a sexual level? Like, how have they approached you in that way? Her lips started to shiver.
That was a blunt reaction. I'll tell you that. Yes.
Where do I start? Okay, so most times some guys just jump straight into it, just talking about sex from the get-go. And that's a turnoff. Because even if I do want to have sex with a person, why are you bringing it up like right away? You don't even want to know anything about me. You're ready to come over. It's too much.
Yeah. Trying to get too much action right away without even building a connection, which is why a sexual connection. Got to have some sort of connection first in order for you to be able to access those doors. I think that sex is beautiful, and the way that we looked at it for so long because of religious beliefs, we looked at it as something that we should just like steer away from. But that steering away made us not really talk about how guys are supposed to approach a lady, or how guys are supposed to talk to a lady, how ladies get turned on, what really triggers them. So we think that just because we got Wilson's in the hatchet hole, that's all that we need in order for them to get turned on, when it's not. We have to learn how to talk to them, how to communicate, how to experience them. Like, what type of experience are we creating for each other so that it can be enlightening for both of us? It's not just about getting a nut off. It's about how we are benefiting each other. And I believe that everything is energy, and especially sex. I think sex is one of the highest frequencies of energy, that when we connect with people on a sexual level, it attaches things onto each other. Like, I refuse to touch my wife unless I'm in good spirits. I don't even like giving her massages unless I'm in a good spirit because I feel as if me touching her will create negativity on her and I don't want her to have no bad energy whatsoever. And a lot of people don't think like that, don't think on those levels. And we have to start looking at things on a deeper spectrum. What do you think about that, Earl?
I think energy is contagious, just like anything else. Like a yawn or something. It's contagious, meaning not only if you're in that space of somebody who has a negative aura or somebody who is just putting out bad energy, especially if they touch you, you're transferring a lot of that energy to that person. So I can definitely understand where you're at with that. I think being like, you shouldn't have to change your energy though. Sexual energy really is all about attraction at that point too. It starts with attraction. It isn't all about it, but it starts with attraction. And it is easy to tell when somebody is trying or when someone is like overreaching in say in the instances where that's the first thing they go to because that's all they care about. You know where their energy is at from the jump versus somebody who is looking to slowly peel back the layers, get to know who you are, understand what it takes to arouse you mentally, maybe get to know you, like your current life that you're living before even getting into that, just positioning things in a right and better way to make that a natural occurrence.
See, and I love that. When I hear that, I think about chess. Like, in order for you to be able to win is positioning. Like, how are you positioning yourself in order for you to claim victory over your opponent? And it's not claiming victory over your opponent in this case, but it's if you're looking to build a connection with someone, I have to put my pieces in the proper way. I can't just rush and think that my first move is going to immediately make me win. You can never win. You can never get king checkmate off of the first move.
Like, yeah, I'm going to conquer that.
Right.
That was easy.
Checkmate, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
move
yeah.
upon.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
I mean, I think the authenticity of it is not necessarily having that type of plan or a strategic way of going about it to get it, but being so much in your element that it naturally progresses to that. I think that's always what people want, but we have desires and we have strong wants within us. So a lot of times building that connection for people, I see nowadays, is when people are like positioning, like really putting themselves in place to get it, like putting themselves out there for it and chasing and doing things like that to have it. So I think like being real in kind of garnering that genuine connection to lead towards sex is not as common today as having a genuine connection. Like it's not as common as like just chasing for it and going to get it.
And I think that's where we have to correct intention. Like, I love the fact that you said that we shouldn't change our energy because everybody have energy, all different types of energy. And what somebody may work for them won't work for me. And it's not supposed to work for me. I'm not supposed to be trying to dive into everybody. I'm not supposed to be trying to create a connection in that level with everyone. I recently just saw a post. I think it was by Free. Shout out to Free.
Yeah,
and,
shout out Free.
And she said, I forgot what it said. One of the things that it was talking about was like, we're not supposed to be accessing everybody. Like, and that's the reason why, even if we look at the plain level, a lot of STDs are being spread so easily because we try to get into everything versus actually creating connection. Everybody is living a sexual realm because sex is pushed out to us so much to where we have desensitized ourselves from actually creating a human connection with people for it to be something of a greater moral when it comes with sex. It's literally like people are having sex because they can versus because of what it brings out of them. Sex can be a beautiful blessing and it can open doors in the mindset that allows you to do things or feel things that push you to the next level. Like, have you been sexually frustrated for like 5 weeks? And you walking around pushing people like, man, get on my way.
Well, So I think that I personally think that that shows in yourself if you can't go. I think both of them show something. If you can't go a long time without having sex, and then also if you can't have sex, they both say something to you and should say something to you about, you know, where your position is in that respect. Like, so if I can't go a long time without having sex, then I am ultimately, that's like a weakness for me. There might be too much frustration, too much energetic buildup in that area for me.
Too much dependency.
Too much dependency on that. But if I can't find a suitable partner to go have sex with, then again, that's also an energy thing.
Correct.
That's also me not being accepting, me not being open enough, me not being able to connect to someone legitimately enough to find someone like that. It's always really a reflection back on us. Not saying we should be able to have sex at all times, even though we know that women have that ability to have, you know, sex more than men, a lot of men do. But you should be in a good energetic space to be open and welcoming to another energy to where you can get there with somebody. And I think building that connection is all about you and your authenticity and you where you're at with you. You know what I mean?
I like that. You got anything to say about that, Renni?
Well, I'm a single woman, so I'm the type of woman who has sex when I want to.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So I do have sex when I want to, and I do agree with the energies. I have encountered experiences with other people where I'm not sure where they're at in their life. Maybe they're going through a hard time, but after we have sex, I might start feeling like a little low vibrational. I might feel like my energy is depleted. And then I might have sex with somebody else who's doing well in their life, have good things going on. We have a great sex experience. And when I leave, I'm feeling uplifted myself.
So it shows you that literally, depending on who you have sexual relations with, definitely does play a part upon your emotions and how you feel and things. You gotta check yourself and ask yourself, one, if I'm having sex with the right people and if some of the people that I'm having sex with low-key holding me back emotionally, and two, am I the right person to be having sex even at all at this point?
Yeah.
Like, should I be focused on other things? Should I be trying to build myself up? Should I be trying to level myself up so that I could get my mind right? Maybe somebody just passed away and I've been grieving and I've been taking all my grief out on sex. And now it's like, it's not doing anything for me. It's probably even having a reverse effect because I'm hiding behind sex instead of knowing or learning that sex has a role in life. And when we overuse that role for improper means, then it becomes a distraction for us. And I think that a lot of people are distracted. A lot of people are too focused on how much can they get versus what they can get from life so that they can give. Like, whenever I have sex, like, I'm a pleaser. Everybody's not a pleaser. Some people are pleasers. Some people want to get pleased. That's perfectly fine. But energy should still be there to where if I'm having sex, I want to give into you. Like, my purpose is to make sure that I'm going to transfer positive energy into you, that when you get done with this, it's going to be better for you. Your life is going to be brighter because I'm giving you something that's going to not just make you feel good because I got that good, but make you feel good because of who I am. So, do y'all think that sex plays a part in identity?
I think sex for most people is like a grand validator of their desirability, of their wantedness, of their the love that they may either have or lack within themselves. So then sex can, even if for a brief moment, help to fill the void inside of them that they may have from past hurts, from trauma and all that. Sex is it's literally you being at your most vulnerable, allowing someone in, or you giving to someone, and them accepting you, and you trusting that they will not hurt you. You know, and it can build you. It can help. Like I said, it can help validate your good thoughts about you. But then also, and one thing I read about, a lot of women feeling. I haven't read about men feeling this way, but I'm there may be, but a lot of women feeling after sex shameful, like because of their association with how personal, how private, how vulnerable it can make them feel. And even if the guy's good or not, like there are sometimes personal things in them that need to be worked out. Sex is, it's personal. It's two people. It's so much like that. Yeah, I think it does play on your identity of who you are, because especially like you have full movements about men and women who aren't able to find mates and then feel like they're lesser value. Women who are old and fertile, older, not old, but older. I'm sorry for saying that, and fertile, but they haven't had a child, so they feel shame from that. Sex plays a big deal into our identity and the ability to find a mate. You know, being blunt by saying old. So that's a part of the show now.
Blunt.
Yeah.
Pow. But yeah, 100%, because you said something that made me think about like the traumas that happen because of sex as well, and then that plays a part. Like I remember growing up, I thought, I'm blunt. This is Blunt Josh, hosted by Superman Barnes. But I thought that I was small growing up. I thought that I didn't have much going on downstairs at all. So it made me nervous and insecure to get into a relationship, because I thought that I would never be able to satisfy a woman. But that also gave me the urgency to learn as much as I possibly can about a woman's body, to figure out how they like it, what they want, the motion in the ocean, what really turns them on, and things like that, so that I can please somebody, whoever will want me and take me for my small thing. And it also made me be acceptable to be with whoever I could get versus somebody that I could truly deserve. Then when I got older and I had experiences and stuff like that, I realized that I'm actually blessed, and porn played its role in making me think, not because of the fact that you see these guys, they take the clothes off and they're immediately big, but they do preparation beforehand for them to get like that. And also there's a thing about growers and showers, which I found about, which came from education. So the mindset that I had beforehand and the mindset that I have after definitely is two different things. A lot of that still comes from my journey of self-love, but still me knowing that me thinking that I didn't have nothing meant me operate in lower frequency. I went after people just because they liked me, or just because they possibly wanted me. And I was willing to accept that, because I thought that I wasn't worthy of somebody good, because I want to be able to satisfy somebody good. So it definitely do play a part of your identity, because confidence is a big portion of your identity. If you don't have confidence, you won't accept the things that you truly deserve in your life. So you got to educate yourself on sex, because now that I'm older, I realize I talk to a lot of ladies. Ladies will tell you that it's a blessing for somebody to be big, but they've dealt with people that was normal size or smaller than average that did better than somebody that was big. So once you start understanding the human body and what you can do and how you can do, you don't need to validate yourself from sex. You just need to do what you can to learn as much as you can, so that you can put yourself in a position for you to be able to please your partner. But Renni, do you think that it plays on your identity?
What plays on your identity?
Sex. Sex, girl, sex.
I feel like it could be. It depends on if sex is a main priority in your life. Because for some people, they're not very sexual beings. So if you're not very sexual, you're not thinking about it like that. You're focused on other things. Sex is the last thing on your mind.
That's true.
Versus somebody who's might be freely sexual. or I don't know what the proper term for that is.
High sex drive, basically.
A person that's real sexual and
A sexual liberal. No.
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Wow.
So I guess that could be part of your identity. If you, I guess it depends on how important sex is to you.
I like that. That's 100% a good point.
How much do you assume it's a part of your identity?
Yeah, because people have high sex drives, people have low sex drive. If your sex drive is low, your mind's not really on it. But if your sex drive is high, like the little burst of a lady, you smell a lady or you smell a guy, for those that like guys, those that like ladies, like you're just going to like, dang, I want some. Somebody that's low sex drive, like, oh, they smell good. Well, to business I go. So, so it really do depend on the individual. And just because sex isn't important to you doesn't mean that sex isn't important to your partner. Or just because sex is important to you doesn't mean that it's not that important to your partner. Like, you gotta understand that you might even get into relationships that causes you to have conflict and friction because of the fact that both of y'all are on two different levels of sex drives.
A lot of relationships have a mismatch in sexual energy.
Definitely,
and I almost
yeah.
think like everyone, it's a mismatch, right? But finding that equilibrium where two people can be happy is a way of building connection. Connecting up into that point where you're comfortable enough to have sex is a journey. Is like, I don't want to call it a game, but it's a little bit like a game. It's a little bit like hunt. It's a little bit like, it's all of that together. It's you gotta be willing to play the game and at the same time make it a little serious.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't even say willing to play the game. I would just say willing to go with the reality. There's a rule of things that you should follow morally in order for you to get what you want to get. Because if you try to go after a lady based off of what you want, then you're doing it the wrong way. When you go after a lady, or if you see somebody that you're interested in and you want to please them, you should try to figure out what they like. And that takes time. You should communicate with them, build up to it, figure out what they like, how they like, and then operate based off of that.
Well, the reason why I say kind of like, even though I don't look at it as like a game as people playing games with each other, I look at it as,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I look at it as like there's funness to it. There's a playfulness to it. There's a seriousness to it. There's an inquisitiveness about it. Curiosity is big.
Makes you excited.
Yeah, it makes you excited to know what is next, or maybe to not know everything. To the reveal at the end, the anticipation, all of that. You know, you can build connection with people, and it could be totally devoid of all sexual energy, right? And you can still have a connection with people. It'll be fine. Like, you know, you guys are friends. It's cool. You know, guys are good and joke and even have flirt. You know, flirt, and there'll be no real sexual energy building up. But when you are building the connection to sex, you're building that sexual energy using all of those little playing fields, using all of that together. It has to be fun, so much so you're being almost vulnerable to the point of being let down and disappointed. That's why we shoot our shot as men. That's why ladies give those hints and things like that.
Repeat.
Yeah.
That, please, right now.
I'm just
repeat it.
you're expecting me to repeat that.
I am. And here you go, repeat it.
I'm just saying, so like it
You got to build up things.
you do. You have to. I know. It's like I built up a lot to that.
Right.
I built up a lot to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you really do have to. It has to be a little bit of playfulness. It has to be a little bit of curiosity and a little bit of, kind of serious, but not all of that to build up into a connection where people are vulnerable enough to share themselves with each other.
So I feel like communication is everything.
It is.
That's where it starts. But also, you don't really have to always build up like how you're talking. I feel like how you're talking is more so for a relationship. Like if you're looking to seek somebody to be in a relationship, some people are just seeking someone to have sex with, which, I mean, you still have to communicate. But also, you can have a one night stand. So you can not have that much communication with someone and still have a good connection.
I think it is true that sex can be as deep as you make it, or as it is to the person. How people treat sex in their lives, whether it be, more casual or more intimate, a lot of times it's based on their relationship with it. And I personally feel like it's a lot of times based on your relationship with yourself, right? Because if you are, I know people who are just down to earth, grounded, completely comfortable with themselves, open with themselves, and they have no problem having casual relationships and stuff like that, and they know how to handle themselves in those relationships. Can have multiple all going at once, and it's not a problem because they know themselves. Right, they're good. And then I know others who can only have maybe one relationship a year, or you know what I mean? Like they can't go there.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like all this and like, no, you should only be having sex with one person and one person only. Me personally, I believe, Blunt and Josh is entering the building. But me personally, I believe that the world has taught us or told us how to do things and what to do. And everybody is just looking to be 100% monogamous and then go into marriage and that's it. Like I believe that if you want to be in an open relationship, you should be in an open relationship. If you want to be in monogamy, you should be monogamous. If you want to be polygamous or polyamory, you should be those. Whatever you want to do, find out what you want to do so that you can operate efficiently. One of the things that I tell people when that is you still have to be careful because one, there's still STDs out there, and two, there's energy out there. So if you attach yourself to the wrong people, then you're going to find yourself having depressive episodes or other things on a frequent basis because you're not protecting your energy or you're not protecting your mind. And I know that's controversial because not everybody believes that deeply in energy and things like that. But it's like, you could tell the signs by certain things, like when somebody is consistently having sexual relations with someone or someone is cool with you and then y'all have sex for the first time. And then immediately after that, she's crazy about you and she ain't gonna do nothing in her power to let you go. And if you try to let her go, she gonna cut you with a knife, a machete. But
God, that escalated.
Right.
I know.
So it's like, I believe that you should, if you want to have your fun, do what you need. I think that there's been a high level of suicide in the past because of the fact that we have been told to live a life that probably don't match what we desire. Like, I think that there's people that have been in relationships and wanted to be 100% faithful, but couldn't be faithful and would have done an open relationship or did something else, but they couldn't.
I think in today's age, we have the opportunity to redefine what a relationship looks like, and we have been doing that. And the whole questions about that is like, is monogamy right? Is polyamory or polygamous, relationships, is that right? Oh, wait, let's look at the Bible. Okay, man has never been monogamous like that. Like all of these talks come up because we are questioning a lot of these institutions or a lot of these ideals that were put in place before we were even born, and that we kind of have to accept and then say, all right, that's how we want to run it now. That's what an actual relationship is. And then we have a lot of scenarios to go off of, some successful, majority not so successful. And so, of course, people don't want the negatives of a relationship, but they want all the positives. So I think that's where we're really at.
I almost told you to repeat, but I'm gonna let you go.
They better rewind.
Right.
They
rewind.
Y'all just rewind that because but the part that I really think that we ignore is our freedom to choose, is our ability to decide the relationship style we want and the life we want to have moving forward. Like, I think if you in your own life and you're like, listen, this is the one life I have, I want multiple partners. I'm not going to settle down with one person for the rest of my life. That is not something I see me doing, or I feel that feels natural to me. You can't shame no one for that. But societal blame is so big, so large. Societal pressure to follow these stated relationship guidelines is so large. Now, I give merit to the fact that if you do relationship in these known ways, it has worked for people. So then you have, a dad should be like this and a mother should be like this. The normal relationship guidelines and all that. But everybody has the freedom to choose and adopt those. And with that, you first have to make a decision in yourself, because you can't stop no one from cheating. You can't make anybody monogamous. You can't make anyone polyamorous. If they do feel like I only deserve one person in my life and that's all I want to have, you can't make anybody what they're not. So it's more of you figuring out what you're comfortable with in yourself. How are you going to show up in the relationship?
And I would say that I love everything that you say about that. But the moral side of that is being honest with it too. Because I think that a lot of people do decide to do it, but they're open. But everybody that they're messing with think that they're monogamous. Like then
the world just expects at first monogamy.
Right.
That's like the first.
But that's not even it. It's manipulation is what I'm talking about. When people utilize like, oh yeah, I'm with you. But then like in their mind, they're open, but to them, they're monogamous. Like they're lying to these people and they're not telling these people what's up.
A lot of
like
times
you'd be surprised.
A lot of times it's protecting everybody else's feelings because they want to keep all those options.
That's fine, and that's wrong. That's
girls do it consistently, and men do it too. I mean, everybody does this consistently.
It's wrong.
I don't know if I can say it's wrong if that's
if you're not letting the person know what's up, and you're putting them in a position that they don't know that they're in, that they may not want to be in, then it's wrong. You'd be surprised how many people will be down for certain things if you be real with them. But if you don't have the boldness to be able to say, okay, this is what's up. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want from this relationship. If you want to be in, amazing. I want you. But if you don't want to be in, I respect what you say. I'm not going to hurt you because I'm here for you. If you start doing it out of lies and you're just trying to protect yourself because you're not protecting them, you want to protect yourself and what you want, then you don't have no feelings for them. You'll have feelings for yourself. You want to have sex with all these people, but you don't want to be real with them to create that connection.
I agree.
So
I agree on the part of if you lie to a person, then you don't respect their ability to handle the truth.
Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of people end up in those situations because not from lying or not from ill intentions, but because of the way that multiple connections grow simultaneously, and then they want to keep a part of those relationships.
That's right.
Like, so not everybody is a relationship guru or know what to do when they end up with 6 or 7 suitors that they all like for different reasons, and I can't blame the person all the time when they're like, look, but Jeff over here helped fix my car when I was down, and Johnny is just great to talk to when I need, you know what I mean? Like they have, and I hear this all the time. Like they compartmentalize men in their lives for different reasons, because not always just for need of material need, but sometimes emotional needs, sometimes just that physical need, and it makes their lives easier. Now, when you have that ability in your life to do that, being able to compartmentalize those relationships actually can be a sign of a healthy person and a healthy dynamic.
I agree. If it's not anything that is, it's not anything that's established,
it might lead to some of them wanting more than where they've been compartmentalized.
So then that's when you have to be real. Like that's when you have to be honest. I know it's hard, but life is hard. And you have to decide in life, what do you want? Correct. I could go 10 different ways, but I decide to be the #1 motivational speaker in the world. So I'm going to do everything I can because I don't have time. I wish I had time to do all the things that I wanted to do, but I don't have that luxury. In order for me to create a healthy life towards a healthy goal, I have to make the decision. And we have to make a decision saying, what do I want out of a relationship? And how am I going to get this to work? I have to be honest in order for me to be effective. And if you don't have honesty within you, like everybody say that they keeping it 100 until it's time to keep it 100. Keeping it 100 is 100% just a saying. If I'm keeping it 100, that means I know what I want, I know what I desire. I'm gonna lay it out, create a blueprint, communicate, tell you what you want, tell you what I want, and we go figure this out. If you want to stay, yes, I did my job. But if you want to go, then I respect you. I love you. I care about you. Now, like I said, if you go beyond that and you try to just do it because you're afraid, then you're operating in fear. And you don't want to operate in fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real anyways. You don't know what's going to be the end result. So you're not operating in your full-fledged honesty because of the fact that you're too busy thinking about a future that have not come to pass yet. So in order for you to be a king and create a kingdom or a queen and establish your kingdom, you have to first be able to be honest about what you want. Now, I think that that's cool if you got like 7 people and y'all not established and y'all just having your fun and all this other stuff. You don't need to talk about it because I'm not with you. Mm-hmm. But if I start saying I'm yours, then I have the responsibility to make sure that you know that I am a man of my word, that I'm not just telling you the truth, but I'm not keeping no lies from you.
Now, are you including that in the connection build up towards sex?
So this kind of goes beyond the connection build up towards sex. This is the connection build up towards a relationship. This is when you're connecting to a relationship. But if you're just connected to sex, like I said, if this is just like a fling and we're just having sexual relations and like I would say
because the girl could have her IT guy over here, but he done said a few nice things.
That's fine.
That
like I said,
IT might be able to hook up Ethernet landline.
I think that's fine. I think that as long as you don't give the impression to the person that they're exclusive with you, then that's cool. Because if a lot of people would want to know if the other person is having sex with multiple people. And a lot of people give the impression that they are just one person. Like, I know people that will 100% just tell the people like, okay, yeah, I'm messing with other people. If you want to be here, you can be here. If you don't want to be here, like, I ain't yours. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not yours. Like, if you like, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and I may like you, but I'm not with you. You don't have to trip on me in that regard. And if you do, then move on. That's their mindset.
Yeah,
and while the other person is like, wow, I can't believe you're having sex with multiple people. Like, everybody have their own morals and standards, and you have to respect it completely. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you what's up. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. And if you want to stay, yes. If you want to go, deuces. Like, I don't want to hold your life back because I want you, but at the same time, I'm not gonna hold my life back because I want to live. So if I'm holding the same standard for myself that I want other people to have for themselves, I have to be honest, or else I'm not keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 50, and that 50% is only directed towards what I want.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm just gonna say the whole conversation was really about getting to that point of that person knowing themselves enough to be able to do that, so that they can say that to the people and compartmentalize those people in their life, and so that they can live a better life. And 2 people who can handle that are mature. I think that's them figuring out the relationship that they are looking to have. And if they can both be okay with that, then it'll work. If not, then you got to be okay with disconnecting too.
A lot of people like to be selfish. That's kind of what it boils down to.
A lot of people do too.
In the terms of relationship being able to handle somebody's comfortability with where they're at, in somebody's categorized mind of relationships, what is selfishness to you?
Basically, what Supa was talking about earlier when he said when a guy might be talking to all these different women and he's not letting them know, like, hey, I'm talking to other women, like, you're not the only one. But they're thinking it. It's because he wants to be selfish. Like, he wants all these different girls for these different things. Or just like how you said with the women having their different guys for different things. They don't have to tell the guys because they want to be selfish. Like, I want John to do this for me, and I want Rashad to do this for me too. So at the end of the day, I feel like you're being selfish because you're just thinking about yourself. You're not really thinking about the other person.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're in it for yourself versus in it because I have built a connection with you and I realize how precious you are. So I want you to know what's up and I want to know what's up. And like I said, this podcast is Blunt Josh. So we're going to start off with a topic and we're going to get blunt. But it's time for us to go into the hot topics. Renni, what's the first hot topic?
I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about older women dating younger guys.
Jaylen Brown.
Yep, with Drea. So a lot of people disagree with it when a lot of men have been doing that for years. Like a lot of men like to go after younger women, but when older women are with a younger guy, it's an issue. And it's not always the fact of the older person going after that younger person, because you don't know if the younger person is going after the older person.
Right.
So why is it an issue when
I
it's women?
personally don't see why it would be an issue to the younger guy. Like, think about it. If she's older, you have less of a chance of actually knocking her up. I mean, that's one. Number two, she might already be established. She can supersize your meal.
Sugar mama.
Yeah, I'm just saying. For two, you may be inexperienced in your younger age, but she's experienced enough to make up the difference. Think about that one.
You just did the bro man. You said two.
I said for three. I might have did the bro man for three.
Upstairs, fifth floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she might be able to make up the difference in your inexperience in the bedroom. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you might have the stamina to make up the difference as well. So it might be a plus in my mind.
Yeah.
For the younger man.
That's true. See, I had commented on the post when I seen this, and I told him that everybody's going to have their different opinions on this, and that goes for a lot of things. A lot of people is going to be for it because of what he said. It's so many benefits and perks to it that the younger guy can take from, while other people are like, wow, this boy was barely 9-year-old when she was around 20, 21. Like, he's a little kid to her. And there's a huge age gap, of course. However, they're both grown. They're both at an age to where they can make decisions. We could take from it and learn. If it works, we'll see that established relationship with the age gap can work. If it doesn't, then we can see that it has its flaws and figure out what those flaws is. However, let the people enjoy their life. Like, they made their decision. There's a reason why he got with her. He thought that she was attractive. She thought that he was fine. People saying that it's because he's a gold digger. People saying that he's just young and naive. We don't know none of that. All I know is he chose her. And it's not my right or my responsibility or within my capacity to judgment to dictate what he or she should do. If they're happy, I'm happy for them.
Even if they
are in
both
love,
wear diapers. What's the problem?
And plus,
my
it's just
God.
who cares? People are invested too much in other people's lives. They should just worry about themselves and what's going on in their life.
as long as he's over. Shoot.
I guess it
As long
depends.
as he's grown.
Grown. But I would
Everybody's
say as
legal.
long as he's over 20. 18 would probably be a little bit too much because you just came out of teenage.
It's legal.
But hey.
It's
I don't know.
legal. It's legal.
It's legal.
I agree with the it's legal part, but I would say though that older woman, younger man, we've been saying forever that older men like younger women.
Cougar.
Let's go ahead and, let that be the case so that we get them off our backs, guys. We can get the young women now. We're free to go, Let them get theirs too, Stella and her groove.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can only do one hot topic on the first episode, but thank you for joining Blunt Josh. This is going to be an ongoing thing. It may happen every 2 weeks. It may happen once a month until it gets good.
Even Will Smith should have got with the mama.
This is what I talk about the blunt.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
The mom is pretty, yeah.
Yo.
Renni, go ahead and give them your information and your social media and tell them about who you are.
Okay, so I'm Renni. You can find me on Instagram as Renni Mills, RenniMills. And I do modeling, so that's what you'll see on my Instagram post. I post a lot of sexy stuff. stuff. So
Hey.
Your turn. Let's go.
You can find me on Instagram at earlalex.ig. I don't post sexy stuff. I post Song Lab and podcast stuff and radio stuff. But if you find me sexy, you can still follow me. Right? Right? Okay.
I love y'all. Well, thank you for joining us. Shout out to Song Lab, always helping us out and everything. With that being said, Kings Mode.